here to collect the local authority's council tax.
I am the one who knocks.
This is my own private domicile, and I will not be harassed. Why don't you fuck off?
I've sent a email to my local Member of Parliament, who happens to be Mr. Douglas Carswell. Let's just read this out to you. Good afternoon, Mr. Carswell. I hope you are well. I am a resident of...
I've been really trying, baby, trying to hold back this feeling for so long.
and a UKIP voter. It is as a supporter of the United Kingdom Independence Party that I find myself contacting you today. I have a strong dislike for Labour and Conservative lies and deceit, so I'm hoping to find yourself to be an honest man and an uncorrupt politician. Chances would be a fine thing, wouldn't they? Excuse me. Working for the people who elect you as opposed to the companies and corporations of this supposed joyous union of countries. It seems the money-making organisation, Tendring County Council, have taken me to court behind my back for non-payment of council tax to Tendring District Council. Not once have I received a letter from Tendring District Council in regards to owing them any money, nor have I received a summons from HM Courts asking me to appear before them in regards to owing the company of Tendring District Council any money, nor have I been arrested by the police and charged with owing the company of Tendring District Council any money. I think I've got my point across there. Despite these factors, It seems that Tendring District Council, whom are a money-making organisation, they are listed on Companies House. The executive for the company, Tendring District Council, is Ms. Debbie Ann Messenger. Its company number is 3980396. I hope that is enough validation on whether or not Tendring District Council is a branch of government or a money-making company. Now, I've highlighted this bit for him in the email, so he knows it's very, very important. As a company, Tendring District Council have gone to the courts and hired a court for the day, along with the magistrates. Tendring District Council have, in their hired court, found me guilty of failure to pay a bill which was never presented to me. In my absence, and without my knowledge about the proceedings taking place, found me guilty of not paying a bill to them, a bill which was never presented to me to pay. Now, after these proceedings have taken place, and I have been convicted by a magistrate who was hired by a money-making company, as opposed to acting upon his oath and dealing with a criminal matter. It seems that the company of Tendring District Council have now sold this debt to an interloper. Now I have to deal with silly people knocking on my door, trying to extort money out of me, trying to get me to admit that I owe them this money that they themselves paid out on their own free will without my permission. I would also like to point out that at the point of paying this debt, the interloper has taken responsibility of the said debt, which they bought of their own free will without my consent. There are several injustices here, Mr. Carswell. The one I ask you to address for me, a voter of the party you represent, is, and again, I highlighted this in bold for him so he knows it's very, very important. Why have I been found guilty in a hired court by a company of not paying them a bill that has never been presented to me? Have I personally upset somebody in this company that justifies that company hiring a judiciary court and magistrate and finding me guilty of not paying a bill that they never presented me with? I would like to point out to you that this email I am sending you will be published online, as will your reply, so any commended damaging behaviour that could affect the United Kingdom Independence Party, for which you represent, will be visible for all to see in this matter.
Thank you for contacting me, and I am so sorry to hear about the difficulties that you have been having. It does sound as if you have been badly treated. Unfortunately, I cannot actually take up your case because your local MP is Bernard Jenkins. Can I please ask you to contact him, and his email address is bernard@bernardjenkins.com. All regards, Douglas Carswell, MP.
email to Mr. Bernard Jenkins. Mr. Jenkins, may I start by wishing you and your family a very Merry Christmas. I regret having to contact you during this season of merriment in regards to an act ever so sour. Please find below an email I sent to your peer, Mr. Douglas Carswell. Please read. Mr. Carswell was ever so kind to reply to myself, if only to inform me that he is unable to take up my case as he is not my local MP. It is yourself. I do try to find some common ground, but I find myself wanting to contact somebody of importance, i.e. a member of our government, as our worlds and lifestyles are miles apart. Yet, we are made of the same substances as every other organic matter in this universe. In Mr. Carswell, we had in common that we both believe being a part of the European Union is detrimental to this nation's health. It was with this common ground I found myself able to relate to Mr. Carswell, especially so as he represents a political party that myself and my partner and all of the voting adults on my maternal side of the family voted for. With yourself, I am worried that your shadowy past, ex-Shadow Minister for Transport, ex-Shadow Secretary of State for Defence, ex-Shadow Region Secretary and ex-Shadow Energy Minister may have left you living your life in the shadows and unaware of the daily struggles and concerns that the common man of this country goes through. I am also concerned that you will not take my case seriously, as I am not a supporter of the Conservative Party, but alas, I am one of your constituents, and expect to be treated the same as somebody who votes for you. Who knows, seeing as this correspondence is being published online for the entire nation to decipher, maybe it is something that you should bring to the attention of your party leader in order to start gaining some votes and seats back from the people who give them to you, and subsequently remove them from you also. So, back to finding common ground between us. As fond as I am of a naked body, I find myself more comfortable fully clothed as opposed to your natural approach to skin attire. For this, though, please do not think of me as demonizing yourself for it. Quite the opposite, in fact. I commend your bravery and confidence in your windsock. The common ground I have found that we share is unfairness and appealing for help. You thought it unfair in 2009 that you had to pay back around £63,000 in expenses, so you appealed and had it reduced to around £36,000. Mr. Jenkins, I, as an individual, and we, the people of this nation, think it is unfair that a local company can pretend to be a branch of government. Government is not a money-making corporation. Essex County Council is. As you saw below in my previous email to Mr. Carswell. Furthermore, it is unfair, disrespectful to the British people that this company are allowed to hire the judiciary system. Lucky for me, I and many more people are aware of this scam and are able to Mr. Jenkins, I'm appealing to you for your help. There's also another disturbing fact to this scam. Police constables. There is video evidence all over the internet of police constables not acting upon their sworn oaths. These constables openly allow the agents of private companies to trespass onto people's properties and allow them to steal people's belongings. They do this by enforcing fake court documents of entry that are not signed by the appropriate authority. Why are the police allowed to act upon civil matters like this? Why are the police taught policy, not law? Mr. Jenkins, as a servant of Her Majesty the Queen, I ask you to answer this. Why are local councils posing as branches of government, whereas they are proven by facts to be a money-making company? Having established this fact that the local council is now a company, what gives this company a right to hire the judiciary system? What gives this company the right to find the public guilty of not paying a tax to them without even issuing a bill for alleged tax? Can any private company hire our judiciary system? If so, where does one inquire as to the fees of doing so? Why are police constables enforcing civil matters and fraudulent court papers? Why are police constables taught policy, not law? Surely the concept of upholding the law requires knowledge of any law you are trying to uphold. I will take this opportunity to remind you, Mr. Jenkins, that this correspondence with yourself will already be in the public domain by the time you have read it. I will also remind you that I am giving yourself and the Conservative Party a very big and rare opportunity to make a serious change to this country and regain some serious voters back, depending on your reply and the outcome of this situation. With love from me and my family to you and yours. Keep it dangling in the breeze. Yours with lackluster anticipation.